Hey guys, so this is the second video of my need to know sort of tip series going on. I've no idea what to call it yet. I just know that this is like an informative video. So this one is going to be on the essential brushes that should be in your makeup bag. So the number one that everyone kind of naturally knows about is a foundation brush. Now I personally use a sponge. I don't like the way it applies with a foundation brush. I feel like the bristle strokes are too obvious on my skin, and that's just a personal preference. So a foundation brush, for people who don't know what they look like, which I would find very difficult to understand unless you are living under a rock, a foundation brush is a flat brush with a sort of round, wide, spread out sort of head on the brush. That is the best I can come up with. So the second brush that should be always in your makeup bag is a powder brush, and that is used to apply some mattifying powder. Now some people choose not to wear powder. That is fine. I personally don't think that does anything for them. I think you're left with a very oily, shiny complexion, and that does nothing for your look. It just looks like you really have oily skin. That's horrible. So usually the powder brush is the biggest one that you have, and essentially your powder should be put on with a powder puff, purely because it will give you the most professional looking finish. So ideally you are supposed to press on the powder all over your face, and then afterwards take your brush and brush it over the work you have just done to take off all of the excess powder. So the next brush is a blusher brush, and that is a smaller version of a powder brush, and that is basically just used to apply your blusher to your cheeks, or if you choose to use bronzer, it is the same story, just applied in this region here. So the next brush is a contouring brush. I am aware that some people, for their daily makeup routine, it is foundation powder and done. They don't want to bother with any of these extra added steps that I would view as being essential. But this brush is a contouring brush, and it has short to long hair. I think that's right. Short to long, yeah, it does. So I have a duo fibre brush from MAC, and I just felt that wasn't wide enough for me, so I got mine from Coastal Scents, which is a chisel brush. So basically you use that to contour your face under your cheekbones here. I use Hoola from Benefit, and I just place that there on my forehead and along my temples. So the next one is a highlighter brush, and this is a duo fibre brush as well from MAC. That is the one I have, and basically I have used it in some of my makeup videos where it has a round head. Again, it is thinner, longer and thin brush fibres in it, but I squeeze it down so that it is a flat surface, so that when I dip it in my iridescent powder and place it along my nose and above my cheekbones, it gives a flat sort of finish, and that is what I prefer. The next brush is more for your eyes, and that is a dome shaped brush. Everybody should have one of those. It can be used for contouring on your eyelid. You can call it a smudgy brush, anything to sort of drag the colour inwards and upwards. You should also have a couple of different variations of that shape, because if you want to work a small bit into your crease, you don't want it to be dragged up where you don't want it, basically. So a dome shaped smudgy brush is essential. So for me, the next one isn't a personal favourite of mine. I wouldn't even consider ever buying one, but I would get them within sets, or if it was very cheap I would get it that way, and that is a lip brush. You can use that to apply your lip gloss or whatever it is, but usually nowadays the brands that I would use, like NARS or MAC, would have a wand in it already, so there is absolutely no need for me to go out and buy one, but that is what I would use. So the other brush for your eye that I would suggest, which is a complete and utter necessity in my opinion, is a blending brush. This is one that you can use to blend out harsh lines, especially if you are doing some sort of smoky eye where you need to be using heavy eyeliner or a dark eyeshadow of some description. You don't want that to be in a harsh sort of motion on your face. You want that completely blend out and a subtle appearance underneath or over the other colours that you are going to be applying. So the final brush that I would consider being a necessity is an eyeliner brush, and that is an extremely short, sort of stumpy looking brush. I have a round one which is okay to use, but I also have a MAC one which is extremely short and block sort of like, and that is used for when you put on liquid liner on the top especially. You can dab this brush in some black powder and you can put it along the liquid liner to soak it up and make your look more pigmented. So the next bit of this video is a how to clean and the proper effective way to sanitize your brushes. So if you were using a sponge, I would suggest with cold water, and that is it, no more. If you're using a latex sponge, I have this all written out here beside me because I cannot remember all of this. If you have a latex sponge, you want to wash it with soap and water and let it dry in the sun. A powder puff, which is what you use to apply your translucent powder or compact powder, that is used with soap and water, and you want to dry that in the sun. Tweezers, you are going to want to sterilize with surgical alcohol. That can be like, I don't know, for when you're around the world, that is going to be called a different thing. Here it's called isopropyl alcohol, so you can use that. An eyebrow curler, again with surgical alcohol. A powder brush. Everyone sort of has their different sort of cleaners to use. The one that I prefer is a MAC cleaner, and that is one that I would recommend getting because you are going to need it at some point. You're not going to use it all at once, and you can reuse it over and over again. So with a powder brush, use your MAC cleaner. You put it onto some cotton wool and then you wipe it all over your brushes basically, and you leave it to dry. So again, I hope this video was helpful and informative for you. Makeup brushes is something that everybody needs on a daily basis if you are in any way committed to looking well and want to put some effort into your appearance. And again, the proper way to clean them is also essential, because if you don't clean your brushes, you will have bacteria build up on your skin, and let's say you have a spot in particular, you accidentally swipe your brush into it, your spot goes, but then you use your brush again, you are only going to be I don't even know what the word is, sort of reinfecting your face with the bacteria that caused the spot in the first place, and you'll most definitely get it again. So, mix up of words. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.